Greetings, Evans. A lot of things are happening in the mass consciousness right now, as it has always happened. But this time, a lot of new changes happening, a lot of new ushering of light happening, and a lot of cleansing and purification that's happening, and everybody in the collective are experiencing it in some or the other way. Those who have rigid patterns of thinking, and those who are still not leaving their belief systems and old systems of thoughts and thought patterns, are literally having to get it flushed out by the mass consciousness that is rising on the planet Earth. And there is a great kind of assurance in the air, in the mass consciousness, through higher consciousness of many evolved beings who are right now monitoring all the activities on the planet, not just in their physical bodies, but most of them are in their astral bodies. So these are those beings who have evolved and elevated their consciousness above the normal average human consciousness. So they are these beings who are actually taken up this task of guiding humanity towards light, and a lot of activities are happening from the astral dimensions. So all the new earth changes are actually happening, and the new earth changes include new ways of thinking, new ways of evolutions, and a flooding of light in the mass consciousness. So this is to brief that whichever path one chooses, whichever way one chooses, whichever method one chooses, everything works absolutely fine. So it may be even old systems of belief, old systems of certain kind of techniques or certain methods, or whichever way, old, new, doesn't matter. What is mattering right now is the intent. The intent comes from awareness, it comes from the consciousness that is purified. So all that matters right now is the intent, whichever path we are moving on, or even if we are on the pathless path. There are many such souls who have not yet got into even religion, or not even got into any kind of a certain faith or belief or culture or tradition or a path or system. It doesn't matter. Even this includes the atheists. Atheists are the people who do not believe in a certain god or any culture, a certain kind of a rigid system. They are completely more scientific and open to the ways of consciousness, and they are more seeking evident ways of understanding the consciousness and evolution based on their personal experiences. It works absolutely for them also. It is absolutely working for them also, because the mass consciousness contains of all kind of people, all kind of beings, all kind of species, both in the gross and subtle forms, and everything is a part of the creator, everything is a part of creation. So nothing is left aside, everything is taken care of. Everyone, every single thing, every single aspect, known, unknown, everything comes in the vicinity of the cosmos. Everything is divinely guided, everything is taken care of. It doesn't judge anything, anybody. It doesn't even judge an atheist who doesn't believe in God, because that also is a part of its own self, the higher self, the supreme self. It's a part of that only, and it's representing a different kind of understanding of that vast supreme being. So even a non-believer is a part of that supreme consciousness. So the super consciousness takes care of everything. So this is not a moment, dear one. The message is not a moment to judge anybody or any system, any path, any religion, any masters, any disciples, any seekers, any kind of consciousness, seen or unseen. This is absolutely not the time to judge anything. This is absolutely the time to turn from external, because judgment happens when your vision is outside, when your consciousness is external, it's outward. So this is the time to turn from outward to inward, and the only consciousness that one should be focusing on, or uh, putting the vision on, is the self-consciousness, the self, one's own consciousness. So when this happens, it all rapidifies within your consciousness. Whatever is your system, or whatever is your way of working towards that evolution, towards that several evolution, is all valid. Now is the time when the flood of light, the light floods into every system, into every kind of conscious beings. Conscious beings are able to be more receptive. That's why I'm saying it floods into conscious being. Even it floods into the unconscious, but they are not aware, they are not conscious about it. So the grasping is lesser. But the aware beings, those who are aware of this, those who are in awareness and conscious, they can feel it, they can see it the moment they become aware of this higher consciousness, letting aside all kind of judgments and all kind of lower activities, because judgment and all these are absolutely lower activities. They actually diminish your own consciousness, they lower your vibrations, all these kind of activities, any kind of such things. So if you just become self-aware and just on your journey, and you just focus within whichever practice you're doing, whichever thought process you are following, if you just look into that, you will see that there's a lot of flooding of light in that consciousness. So the mass consciousness, the super light that is there, whatever you call it, that is trying to help you and guide you through your own systems. So you turn within, you are flooded with it, you are absolutely guided, you are well taken care of, you are nourished by that supreme consciousness. So all that is needed is to plug into that, to go within and follow whichever systems you are following. If you are following a certain God, follow it. If you are following a certain religion, follow it. If you are following a certain scripture, follow it. If you are following the Quran, follow it in full awareness. If you are following the Bhagavad Gita, follow it in full awareness. If you are following the Holy Bible, follow it in full awareness. You take any scripture, it works. It is going to work because there is flooding of light there. You work through a certain master, a certain guru. Become fully aware of that Guru consciousness, that Guru Tattva, that master, the teachings, the preachings. Through that pure consciousness, you will see flooding of light there. If you follow a certain path, a certain, be it the Karma Yoga, the Bhakti Yoga, the Jnana Yoga, the Raj Yoga, path of meditation, any path, even yoga, the physical yoga, you look within, become aware of that yoga that you do, even physically, you'll see there is a subtle consciousness that takes care of that. Hatha Yoga also, that physical yoga is flooded by a subtle yoga. Everything has got a subtlety in it. Even Karma Yoga, you're doing seva services, selfless services. You just focus on that, you will see suddenly there is a subtle aspect of that seva. The seva might be a physical seva, but suddenly there will be a subtle aspect of it that is enlightening you. You pick up a book, you pick up a scripture and go into the Jnana Marga, the wisdom, the path of the wisdom. You'll suddenly see that there is a flooding of light in those scriptures, in those words, in those the hidden subtle messages all come out and it floods you because the light is available in that also. You go into meditative path, you just become aware of meditation. If you are into Dhyana Yoga, Raj Yoga, you just become aware of your inner being and suddenly there is a flooding of light. You are taken into that super conscious state. You are taken into that blankness. So anything, any path that we follow, just look into that in complete awareness by removing off all other distractions. So it's a one-pointed attention that you are giving through the process of Pratyahara. Pratyahara is withdrawal from the external senses. All your five senses which are all the time focusing outside, you are withdrawing. So all the effort that you are doing is just to withdraw your senses from external and place it internal. So when you do that, what happens is, how do you do Pratyahara? The best way to do is awareness. So all that I'm talking here is using the path of awareness, being just becoming aware beings. I have talked enough on awareness, how to practice awareness. There are very simple ways to practice awareness. So the more aware you become, suddenly you see that path is enlightening, that inner being is enlightening. All that you need to put is your awareness. Become aware of what? Myself. Aware of my body, my energies, my subtle bodies, my mind, my intellect, my emotions, my feeling. It's all on the me, inward, turning within. So when you do that, there is a different kind of consciousness that is taking care. Suddenly there is an enlightening, uh, light that is spreading from within. You'll notice it. Why we don't notice it? Because the pratyahara is not happening. The focus is not. It's scattered, inward, outward, everywhere. We are judging this, judging that. Who's doing what, where? Who's doing? Who's going where? What are these people up to? What are that people up to? Are they doing right? Are they doing wrong? We are wasting, dear ones, our precious energy. And we are just wasting. We do not know how much it lowers our vibrations. It is a problem for us. It is not going to be a problem for the one whom we are judging. Absolutely not a problem. So please understand this big secret. It is all about withdrawing into oneself. Become completely aware and completely absorbed in whichever practice you are doing wholeheartedly. In complete awareness. Practice awareness into that. And you will see a lot of changes immediately reflecting in your consciousness. You will see it immediately. And that seeing will be your motivation. That will be your inspiration. You will know that things are working. Trust your inner voice. Much divine love and light to you. Stay blessed.